Hello and welcome back. It's Fred from Bamboo Batu, wishing you a happy winter solstice from Catalonia, Spain. Winter solstice, December 21st. That can only mean one or two things. One of them being that it's pretty cold out. The other one being it's time for a year end wrap up. We're looking at the year 2024. It's been an amazing year. A lot of bamboo developments, a lot of bamboo action, a lot of bamboo activities. I want to pause and reflect on what a milestone year this has been and take a look forward. There's some exciting things on deck for 2025. Going to make some far out predictions. And yeah, stick around for that at the end. But I'm going to start off with some reflections on what a great year it's been. If you want to know more about bamboo, definitely check out my website, bamboobatu.com. Tons of information about the bamboo industry, bamboo cultivation, bamboo species. I've got about 400 or 500 articles on there, all free content. And I got about 100 and something videos on YouTube. So check those out. Please like and subscribe, share with your friends, and enjoy. So let's get into it. Yeah, it's been a great year. A lot of bamboo stuff happening. I started off the year. My first bamboo adventure of the year, I think, was down in Barcelona. I went on the bamboo bike tour with bamboo seed specialist extraordinaire, Liua, who was visiting from China. And I showed her around the city, and we went on the bamboo bike tour. If you're in Barcelona and you want to see the city on the back of a bamboo bike, check these guys out. Just Google or use your favorite search engine and find the bamboo bike tours of Barcelona. And these guys know all about the city. They make their own bikes there. They know about bamboo construction. They know all the little hot spots. They have different types of tours of the city. If you want to see the landmarks, if you want to see like urban graffiti or whatever you're into, they know where to take you. And it's a real flat city for the most part, so it's real easy to get around on a bike. And it's a great idea if you're looking around in Barcelona. I highly recommend that. I did that in the springtime. Later in the spring, I went to Portugal and helped to put together a bamboo workshop at the Bamboo Park. They're doing a series of workshops there now. Every few months, they have a workshop, different themes of the workshop. The one we did, the one I participated in, at least in April, I think, was a real general one. So we had bamboo cultivation, bamboo industry insights, bamboo construction, a couple days of that, treatment, and different bamboo building tips and tricks. Super interesting workshop, super great group of people. Half the fun, if not more, of going to a bamboo workshop is meeting other people who are way into bamboo. We had a super diverse group of people from all completely different backgrounds. Like the only thing that we had in common was that we're really into bamboo. So it made for some super interesting interactions and conversations and some great food, of course. And one of those meals was some bamboo ceviche that I prepared, something I'd been thinking about for a long time. Had never done it before, but we were there in springtime. So the big phyllostaches were putting up shoots left and right. So I decided to whip up some ceviche. It's like a South American, usually done with fish. It's done with raw fish, and it's marinated in lemon and lime with a bunch of cilantro and red onions and some spicy stuff. And it's really good. I really love ceviche, so I thought, you know what, I bet we could do that with nice, finely chopped bamboo shoots. So that's what we did. There's the before and after. You can see we scarfed it down. It was really good. I'm thinking about doing it again at another event this year. I'll tell you more about that in just a minute. But yeah, if you're interested in bamboo workshops, check out Bamboo Park. They're doing different workshops all the time. There's information on their website. They share stuff on Instagram and LinkedIn and other social channels pretty regularly. Um, some really good stuff, some really good construction workshops as well. My next bamboo adventure took me to the Philippines, where I visited some bamboo factories, some bamboo farms, bamboo greenhouses, plantations. Saw some really cool stuff. Made some videos about it. There's try to put a link down below in the show notes. There's a video about this little small scale bamboo operation that was working in conjunction with a large scale bamboo operation, helping them do some of the pre processing so that they could be turning their bamboo into more high end, highly processed, engineered construction material. So they would do a little pre-processing, as we see here, splitting the bamboo, doing a little treatment, making it into slats, and then they'd send it over to this factory where they take the slats, clean them up, laminate them, and make some real nice high-end building material, boards and beams and panels. And that was in the Philippines. There's a lot of that going on in the Philippines. I think there's going to be a lot more of this type of product coming out of the Philippines and Southeast Asia. We're not going to be so dependent on Chinese bamboo in the future. That's what I'm hoping and thinking. I've got a lot to say about that. I'll be saying more about it in the year 2025, I believe. Something else I came across in the Philippines, just a whole lot of bamboo growing in the wild. This is a massive clump of asper growing alongside the Grand Canyon of the Philippines, that is. Super cool spot. It was a real treat to be there. Also saw lots of thorny bamboo growing in the wild. Most of the asper bamboo that you see here, which they just call giant bamboo, most of that was planted. This was planted along the edge of the Grand Canyon as like an erosion control method. It was pretty cool the way they did that. I think I've got another video on that somewhere. But more commonly seen in the wild would be the thorny bamboo, which they call tinnick, which we bamboo nerds call Bambusa blumiana. Massive clumps of that stuff. The blumiana's got branches going out everywhere. It's not as elegant in appearance as asper and some other dendrocalamus species. The bambuses tend to have a lot more branches, like lower branches closer to the ground. So a real dense thicket of bamboo, and it's thorny. It's got thorns mostly on those branches that are coming out. So it's a bit difficult to work with, but real dense biomass source, and just a real abundant, and a little bit easier to. It's a little bit harder to work with than asper because of the thorns, but a little easier to maintain as far as its resilience. Like, you really got to be kind to your asper to get it to produce well. It needs to be really well established. The Blumiana seems to be a little bit more forgiving. You can maybe over harvest it a little more without damaging, without doing any long term damage so much. But anyway, there's tons of bamboo that they're working with in the Philippines, and really interesting stuff. My next excursion after that, later in May or June, was the Bamboo Expo in Germany. This has become an annual event organized by my close friend Iraklis. He's from Greece, but he lives in Germany, and he's promoting bamboo all over Europe, working closely now with Bamboo Logic from the Netherlands, who've become a lead sponsor of the event. But they also embrace all different bamboo companies from Europe, especially focused on Europe. But there's participants from Latin America, from Southeast Asia, from around the world. A lot of African bamboo projects were represented there as well, and it was great to see all the different bamboo projects going on. It's obvious to anyone who's been attending these kind of events in the last couple years or the last couple decades that interest in bamboo is greater than ever, which is another reason I'm pretty excited about what's on tap in 2025. But yeah, the enthusiasm in the group is great to see. And what's really exciting about what Iraklis is doing is he's really determined to break out of what we call the bamboo bubble. Again, if you attend a lot of bamboo conferences and bamboo meetups like this, you tend to see a lot of the same faces, and we all kind of know each other. We're like a big bamboo family now, which is great. But if we want to promote bamboo, we need to do more than just tell our friends and see the same people again, hearing their stories. Luckily, it's people with new stories because they're always doing new stuff. But it's a lot of the same faces and some of the same stories. But what we really need to do is break out into the mainstream and reach more mainstream construction, textile, other industries, food industries, all the different industries where bamboo can be adapted. We have to reach out to those people and get bamboo expanding into these different reaches. And that's what what Heracles is really determined to do with his bamboo expo and other bamboo events that he's got planned. And so I'm really looking forward to what's on store for the next bamboo expo, which again will take place in Dortmund, Germany, and northwest Germany. It's a kind of a quiet city off the beaten path, but they've got a real nice venue there. It's pretty centrally located as far as kind of Western Europe goes, and it's going to be some great meeting of the bamboo mines taking place there, and bamboo and beyond, not just the bamboo bubble, but breaking through the bubble into more mainstream, more related industries. So excited about that. But yeah, there's always some great familiar faces there. There's Heracles right there on the far left, um, visually, if not politically. And behind him is Jorg Stamm, um, legend in the bamboo construction world, and in the salmon-colored button-down shirt, there is Juan Pablo from Guatemala, another great pioneer bamboo advocate, doing some amazing stuff in Guatemala. I met him at the previous expo. We had a great time at the Botanical Gardens of Dortmund. Highly recommended. The Arboretum, I guess it is. We had a great time, and then we met up again at this year's event, and we actually were roommates in a little dormitory style room, and that was pretty fun. We had some good times. And then on the right there, um, visually but not politically, is Ashanti Pierce from Florida, another amazing bamboo voice, and a enormous wealth of knowledge that she has about bamboo, but far beyond bamboo into all kinds of regenerative agricultural strategies and things. She does workshops. She works with kids in bamboo education and using art and bamboo to really broaden the children's minds. And she had an amazing presentation, one of my favorite presentations of the event. Uh, and yeah, really great time hanging out with her. And she's here checking out some flowering bamboo. I think that's some Philostachys nigra henon, which is flowering all over the world this year. And she had to get some pictures of that. Talk more about that in a moment. Um, but yes, it was a year filled with bamboo excursions. That's my son. I drag him around once in a while to a bamboo patch. He gets stuck in the invasive bamboo. This is just somewhere here in Spain. He's meandering through some Philostachys aurea, which we know is one of the more hate to say invasive, but it's expansive. It spreads. It goes all over the place, and they're letting it go everywhere at the park here in Igualada in Spain. So yeah, we were having good times. In a more exotic destination, I also made it to Colombia for my other job in biochar production. We were making some coffee, turning coffee prunings into biochar, but you can't really get very far in Colombia without running into a massive clump of, massive grove, I should say, of Guadua angustifolia, amazing South American bamboo species. It was my first time to really delve into the Guadua groves. You see this one's covered with orchids and a nice big bromeliad there just growing on the side of the bamboo culm. Super interesting species. I made a couple videos about this species. It's just fascinating variety. It's a clumper, tropical, but it spreads out, so it feels more like you're in a forest, even though it's a singular. Uh, it's a clump. It's got sympodial rhizomes as opposed to the monopodial rhizomes of Philostachys, like a moso species. So uh, they spread more than a usual clumping species, but they still have the morphological characteristics of a clumper. Pretty interesting and just super strong. Many people consider it the strongest species of bamboo available. Very straight, very tall poles. Really great to work with, although it's got some nasty thorns on it. I don't see any in this picture, but I had a lot of pictures where you can see the thorns directly on the culm, sometimes on the branches as well, but directly off the culm, they've got these big thorns. So something to watch out for. And the use of bamboo in Colombia, also amazing. We see it everywhere, like in restaurants and hotels, and decorative use of bamboo, structural use, including this bridge at one of the, I don't know if it's a national park or a provincial park of some kind. It was a natural history exhibition of some indigenous um, rock art and things. And there's the nice bamboo bridge spanning the river. Some beautiful work. Looks like something that Yorkshire would have done. The construction guru that I mentioned before, he's from Germany, but he's based in Colombia. He's been there for quite a while. I don't know if this is his work, but it definitely looks similar to the kind of stuff that he does. Um, he was yeah, he's participating in some of the workshops in Portugal as well. But yeah, I met him in person at the expo in Germany, where he did some presentations on his work. Stunning stuff that was similar to this, where they had like a giant SUV and 200 or 300 people from the village jumping up and down on the bridge. Um, so yeah, it's solid construction. So yeah, good times in Colombia for sure. Also did some urban bamboo scouting. I was in Paris briefly and saw some bamboo there in various parks. They really love their ornamental horticulture in France. And they incorporate a lot of bamboo into their landscaping. It's really cool little Japanese gardens and just various little patches of bamboo here and there, always like mixed in with something else. Also in London, I saw bamboo mixed in with something else right here. I'm always on the lookout for bamboo. So whether it's growing through the side of a fence or creeping out of the back of another type of bush. I don't know if that's a yew or what that is here, but um, yeah, I'm always spotting bamboo in unlikely places. A less unlikely place to find bamboo would be at the Kew Gardens in London, said to be the most what is it? There's some great superlative to describe the park. This bamboo, this botanical garden. It's got the greatest collection of botanical species in the world, I think, collected at Kew Gardens. Anyway, a very impressive collection of bamboo there. Not so much the tropical bamboos that are sometimes more impressive, I suppose, but lots of phylostachys, lots of different running bamboos, lots of exotic euphonias and sacellas and Himalaya calamus, and tons of phylostachys. So there's some phylostachys dulcis. I just grabbed this photo at random from my collection from the park. I've got a whole video. I can link to that as well in the show notes. But this one was pretty cool. How the shoots are all kind of going zigzaggy, not zigzaggy, but crisscrossy. Crisscross, I would call that. Also, bamboo flowering was on full display. It's been an amazing year, 2024, for bamboo flowering. The last 2 or 3 years, the phylostachys in particular are flowering like crazy. Everyone I talk to in the bamboo world is a little bit bewildered by the amount of flowering taking place right now in the bamboo world. All kinds of species are flowering. Some of them more predictably. Some species flower on a regular basis, but there's just so many species. Phylostachys stimulosa. Don't know off the top of my head what the flowering period of this one is, but this one is definitely in full flowering at Kew Gardens in London. When I was in Portugal, I saw a few other species flowering rather unexpectedly, and something we've been seeing for the last couple of years now. All the Phylostachys nigra all over the world have been flowering. This one is maybe a little bit more predictable. It has an amazing 120-year flowering period, so it's been a long time since this species flowered, but now they're all flowering. So not only Phylostachys nigra, the classic black bamboo, but all the subspecies too. So Boreana, a really nice kind of speckly timber bamboo, and Henon, Phallostachys nigra henonis in this picture. I've seen Henon flowering everywhere: France, Portugal, UK. I don't remember where else. I think I saw some in Germany flowering as well. Yeah, for sure in Germany. Um, and I've got pictures, people sending me photos from the US and elsewhere of their flowering bamboo, and lots of varieties of nigra are flowering. So Phylostachys nigra is the species, which includes something like 6 or 10 subspecies. Boreana being one of them, Henon maybe the most popular subspecies, and then just the classic original species, the nigra, which is the thinner poles, but real nice dark brown to black. Anyway, they're all flowering, and it's an amazing thing. But the fact that all these other species are also flowering, a lot of people point to climate change, other things going on. Maybe over harvesting, maybe just the distribution of bamboo. There's been so much interest in bamboo in the recent years or decades. So there's a lot more distribution of plants from different parts of the world. People sharing seeds, people sharing cuttings. So cross pollination between species is going to be happening more and more. Species that don't normally interact geographically are now being brought together because of people cultivating more species and ordering different seeds and clones from different parts of the world. So there's something going on. Um, the most common explanation I've heard is climate change, but a lot of times people just point to climate change as like the easy explanation for some freak event. And in some cases, that might be right. In other cases, there might be more going on. In any case, it remains something of a mystery. And bamboo flowering in general is a mystery in itself because of these really long flowering periods. And then the fact that Henon, for example, takes 100, 120 years, all the species and all the plants in the world of the species flower at once and don't produce any seeds. Usually a plant flowers, seeds are produced from the flower. These are producing flowers with no seeds in them, which makes you wonder what kind of survival strategy that is for a plant to spend all of its energy to produce flowers with no seeds. And then most, if not all, of the plants die after they go to flower. So it's quite mysterious how they survive and why they would do that. Maybe it's just a natural thinning of the population, natural survival of the fittest kind of strategy. They thin out the species and let the strongest survive and return and flourish for another century. Anyway, it's a mystery, and one of the great mysteries of this year for sure. The last couple of years is this volume of bamboo flowering. Something else I came across this year. It's not all. Yeah. What am I trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I saw some fake bamboo. So it's not all highlights and happy smiles. It's some stuff like this that makes me just want to cry when I see fake bamboo like that. It's pathetic. So I know we're taking up a lot of time here, but I want to think about the next year. 2025 is just a couple of minutes away, about a week away from where I'm sitting, but I'm foreseeing a lot more bamboo development. People are really serious about bamboo construction, bringing in more species, more technologies, sharing knowledge, doing cool stuff. Bamboo biochar is going to continue to be huge. Biochar in general is blowing up. A lot of people are turning their bamboo offcuts into biochar. This is our friend Kom and Nui's project in Thailand, in Prachinburi province. They're making massive quantities of biochar, and they're financing the project through carbon credits, so carbon financing. They turn the waste product bamboo into biochar. They bury it in the soil. They apply it to all kinds of crops, cassava, rice paddies, etc. It regenerates the soil. It puts the waste product to good use, and it captures carbon in the soil for hundreds of years. And so they're able to monetize that through carbon credits, while also creating jobs and improving the soil and bringing all other benefits. So I think there's going to be more and more of that happening as people recognize the benefits of biochar and the possibility of carbon financing. and the importance of soil regeneration in the tropics. Something else that can't be ignored: the elephant in the room, or the sleeping dragon that may be awoken. China is kind of a juggernaut in the geopolitical sphere these days, and between their juggernautery and the juggernautery of the new president of the United States, who was elected last month and will take office in January. I'm not going to make any predictions here because this video is going to be online for years and years to come. So if I make a prediction that turns out to be wrong, people are going to come back and say, "Look, Fred doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a psychopathic, schizophrenic, paranoid, delusional bamboo nut," which may or may not be true. I'd like to say that it's not, but just to say that I don't want to make any great predictions. But there are supposed to be a lot of tariffs against Chinese bamboo, and we'll see what that's going to do. I think there's going to be more bamboo from other parts of Southeast Asia. The Philippines is going to be a huge bamboo producer. I think this is going to be a big opportunity for them to come up. I know there's some great bamboo suppliers in the Philippines. So especially the United States, where these tariffs are going to be kicking in, I think there's going to be some big opportunities there to explore other sources of bamboo besides just the moso from China that's been flooding the market for the last couple of decades. Nothing against moso, but the Chinese have been doing some what do you call it, human rights violations of pretty severe stuff. And I don't know what's going on with Taiwan, and I don't know what the new U.S. president is going to do to uh, increase or reduce the tensions in this part of the world, but definitely something to pay attention to in the next year to come, in the next 4 years. What's going to be happening with China, politically, economically, etc. And of course, China being the number one source of bamboo in the world, the effects on the bamboo industry could be significant. So, my advice is, if you're in the bamboo business, start sourcing your bamboo from somewhere other than China, and or start selling your bamboo. Start making things to be more competitive with the Chinese bamboo, maybe. Although that's something I've tried to discourage for a long time, because the Chinese are so good at making what they make. It's really important to make something that's different than what the Chinese make, because you're not going to be able to beat them in quality or price. However, the tariffs could change that, at least in the U.S. Um, but it's a complicated landscape. To going to be making more videos about that next year. I'm really excited about Southeast Asian and Filipino bamboo for sure, and I think there's going to be some great alternatives to the Chinese stuff, like I said. So looking forward to that for sure. I think the bamboo industry in general is gonna be growing. It's gonna maybe take some turns because of the Chinese situation, but there's more and more factories being set up, more and more different types of bamboo boards and materials coming online. The demand for building materials, shortage of forestry available for harvesting, housing shortages across the developing world. We're going to need some low cost sustainable building material for sure, and bamboo could fill that gap really nicely. So those are some of my thoughts about 2025. I'll have more to say about the year 2025 in a couple of weeks, because then we'll be living in the year 2025. I'll be able to speak about it in the present rather than predicting about it in the future. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you found this interesting, informational, and like I said, I'm going to be talking more about industry developments in my next videos. So stay tuned for that. And always feel free to reach out, leave a comment down below. Consultations are available. My time is limited, but I do have slots open once in a while. And on that note, I wish you a great holiday season and a happy new year. And I'll see you again in 2025.